What if the reason that you haven't found the relationship that you want, the job that you want, or got that social life that you want isn't because you're doing something wrong or you just haven't met the right person yet? Perhaps it's just about having trust and faith that you will get the things that you want at the right time. And what if the reason it hasn't worked out yet is because of that nagging voice in the back of your mind that says, maybe this isn't meant for me. Maybe because I haven't had those signs yet or seen those results yet, it's never going to happen. And because of that, you show up nervous, anxious, you try and grip onto the opportunities that come your way rather than letting life flow and those things that you want to materialize. We often talk on this channel about the importance of building your beliefs, your mindset, how to build your confidence. But underpinning all of that is having faith and trust that it will all work out, that you're going to get the things that you want, the opportunities that will come your way, even when you don't see success yet or it doesn't feel like it's in your control. In this video, we'll look at the link between trust and faith and how having a little bit more trust can help you build that unshakable confidence. Welcome to the YouTube channel for Catch. My name is Sam and I'm the founder here at Catch. Unshakable confidence is the key to getting everything that you want out of life. So on this channel, we help you build that unshakable confidence and become the most unstoppable version of you. If you want to work with us in any way, all of that information is in the description box below. Coaching will be available again from August, September time. So if you need some help in the meantime, check out our digital workbooks or email coaching. The first thing for us to talk about is that a lack of trust or a lack of faith shows up in our body before it shows up in our mind or in our conscious thoughts. It's that inability to stop thinking about something, inability to relax, be present, enjoy the moment, and let things go with the flow. It often shows up as anxiety, trying to control things. And because of that, even if someone does show up in our life giving us the things that we want, we may not be able to see those opportunities or believe in them or believe in the other person because we don't have that trust. Or at the slightest change in behaviour, change in energy or roadblock, we give up because we don't believe that we can get that end result, and so any obstacles become proof of that. You may not consciously know that you have a lack of trust, but it shows up in those feelings, in that doubt, in that anxiety, and how you react to things showing up in front of you. Whereas when you're in a trusting, positive, loving state of mind, we can interpret the same actions in a completely different way. The same actions can be obvious to us as initiating, showing interest, having belief in us, wanting to put us forward for different roles. But we can't see that when we're in a negative frame of mind. When we're confident and trust that something is going to happen, we can let go of it. And we've done recent videos on not taking things so seriously and being able to be detached or not attached from outcomes, because that's what it means. It means to be able to trust and have faith that it's going to happen. So we don't need to control every little thing. We can let things come to us. It's like if you order a package online, you know and trust that it's going to be posted and it's going to arrive with you. And we can think about any outcome that we want in life in the same way, that it's on our way to us. So we may as well enjoy the time that we have now, enjoy the time with our friends, family, on dates, developing ourselves, because we know at the right time or when we're in the right state of mind, what we want will show up. And there's that famous quote that when the student is ready, the teacher appears. It's much more helpful to put our focus on how can I show up as the version of me that already has this outcome and trust and believe that it's going to come to me, rather than worrying about where it is. And that's why faith is not just a spiritual concept and not just for those who are religious, but it's a practical confidence tool that I know I will achieve this, I know that I'm deserving of it, I'm worthy, and I trust the universe or whatever you believe in to bring that to me. And when you adopt that mindset, you'll be more open, more relaxed, more present, and more able to see what's right in front of you. Linked to this Control is the opposite of trust. And this is what we see often with our clients. The opposite of trust is control. So when we see someone that we're working with trying to control, seeing every setback, such as a slow response to a text or a date not working out, or going to a party or going to an interview and not enjoying themselves, they see all those little things as evidence that they're not going to get what they want. And all of the anticipation, bracing for disappointment, controlling, managing, that is exhausting. And it also takes you from your own life. It stops you enjoying the present, enjoying each day that you have, and it's wasted energy. How this can show up in dating is very rigid rules about how someone should and would show up if they were really into us. And we did another video on this recently named, is it a standard or is it a defense mechanism? Because what we see now with this always online culture is that people expect someone they've just met to text them every 10 minutes, every hour. They expect to see them twice a week. They don't have any space or trust or faith to allow a connection to develop. Just like with a friendship or with a colleague relationship, allowing it to build over time and get closer over time. They want to see a certain behaviour from the first meeting, being in love and committed from the first date, being consistently in contact throughout every single day. And although it's good to have standards, we need to be realistic about the amount of investment that two people have early on in dating, and expecting too much too soon could be blocking out the exact type of person that we're looking for. It's just that the connection is not deep enough yet, and that's why we're not seeing all the behaviours that we want. So what people do to avoid disappointment or being hurt is they come up with all these rules about how often they need to date, whether the person needs to send a taxi, whether they need to pay for all the dates, if they need to be dinner dates or coffee dates, how often they need to be texting, to try and protect themselves. But some of those rules go so far that they're a protection mechanism rather than standards. The key thing here with trust and faith is, rather than managing the details, look at the bigger picture. Have trust in how things can evolve, how things can play out, that magic where we can just bump into someone and they turn out to be a great friend or a partner. And if we hadn't gone into that coffee shop at that time or gone to that party, we wouldn't have met them. So it's allowing space for that, allowing space for things to develop, and having that confidence in yourself that you can achieve the outcomes that you want without managing every small detail. It's about keeping an open heart and being open to the possibilities and being pleasantly surprised by life. The third thing for us to talk about is that the universe and others around us responds to energy, not by specific actions. And we've all felt that, where we're dating someone and they're not texting us much, but we can just feel that they're really into us. Or they might be texting us a lot, but we don't feel that confident in the connection. That's because so much of the interaction that we have with others, we're interpreting from energy. And we just have a gut feeling and an intuition about something, regardless of the behaviours in front of us. You don't care as much about texting and if they're viewing your story online, if they're liking your pictures, because you already know that you have that connection. Those small things are only important when you're lacking trust, lacking faith and confidence, and looking for these small reassurances about where the two of you are. That is coming from a scarcity mindset, that things can't develop, they can't change, how I show up has no bearing on how this connection moves forward, and that the person in front of me is the only option, rather than staying open to different options, being pleasantly surprised, having people come towards us. If we're in a place of abundance, we don't need the attention. We already know that we're going to get what we want. If we have that trust, we're not latching on to the first person that we go on a good date with, and we're not bothered by small actions or inactions that we see from people, because we have that deep faith and belief that it's going to work out how we want. There's a whole body of work in psychology called positive psychology, and it's shown that feeling positive emotions of joy, openness, happiness not only makes us feel better, but it broadens our awareness of the range of possibilities that we feel are open to us and that will pursue. When you're in an open and trusting state, our world expands. Whereas when we're in a fearful scarcity mindset, that fear makes our world shrink and we focus in on the problems that we feel that we need to solve. And this goes for people too. So what can feel like the universe providing, or when people have a religion, it feels like having faith and miracles happening. Where that comes from is us shifting our internal state and seeing new opportunities and being more open to new opportunities and inviting those in. Plus, people and opportunities are drawn to you when you're in a more positive, trusting state of mind. And I'm sure you've all experienced that with friends, family, jobs. Those people you're magnetically drawn towards because they're positive, because they look at the best in life and they don't worry about circumstances or challenges. They believe it's going to work out. And I know for many of you watching this, it's hard to trust and have faith because you've been hurt in the past. And it feels like opening ourselves up to more hurt, more disappointment. What we're trying to show you in this video is that you won't get what you want from sitting in that fear state. You have to process what's happened and get back to a place of being open in order to become that most unstoppable version of you. And that's why these practical tips and how to shift into more of a trusting space is what we're trying to get across. So our next point and piece of advice is that having trust is not always being delusional or denying reality. It's about telling a new story and having faith even if the circumstances in front of you tell you that you can't get what you want. It's about deciding that even though we've had difficulties in the past, even though we've been hurt in the past, it's about reframing what they mean. They don't mean we're not worthy or we're not good enough or we can't get what we want. They're experiences that we had to go through to become the version of us that could sustain that relationship, get that job, build our confidence. And they taught us something. And choosing to have a positive or a meaningful story to put to a negative experience will help you process it and shift out of it. And if writing your story is something you're struggling with, we have another video on that as well, so we will link that down below. And that helps you stay open. And that decision to stay open and choose faith and trust over fear and shrinking yourself isn't a naive thing to do. It's the brave and courageous option. You're believing in yourself that you deserve what you want and that you can get it, more than letting life and previous bad experiences get you down. And every time you make that choice, your self-worth, your self-assurance, your confidence and your self-belief shifts up as you decide, no, this is what I deserve and this is what I'm getting out of life. When you choose to trust, that's what makes you unstoppable. You stop having to manage every small thing. You stop doubting and fearing those around you and their motives. You start trusting your own intuition more. You start feeling more connected to yourself because you're not clouded by overthinking and anxiety. You can attune to, well, what feels good to me? Who do I want to be around? And what opportunities do I want to pursue? You shift from someone trying to control into someone who is deliberately choosing what's right for them. And you stop shrinking, because if you know that what you want is coming, the relationship that you want is coming, the job that you want is coming, you stop getting so attached and caught up in every small experience or setback, because you see that as part of the learning journey. You see that as part of becoming who you want. And it allows you to be who you truly are as well, because you don't have to play a part to get this person or this job to like you. You can just be yourself, knowing that the right opportunity will come up at the right time and that things will work themselves out. Just to bring to life where I've implemented this recently, and it's something that I'm still working on. There was a period where those that watch this channel know that I have two businesses. One is a corporate consulting business as well as Catch, where the corporate consulting business, some work pushed out. Businesses I work for were having big leadership changes, moving to new companies. And so I went from having a full pipeline of work, quite a lot of uncertainty about where that work was going to come from. Now, I could have responded to that in two ways. I could have looked at that and panicked, tried to contact everybody that I know, tried to fill up all of the work. Instead, I decided to shift into trust and faith that it was going to result in bigger and better opportunities. It was making space for that next level in the business. And within 2 weeks, I had had inbound opportunities come to me. that were exactly the kind of work that I wanted, short-term work that would fill the gap before the delayed projects. It also enabled me to plan some travel that I've been wanting to do and some holidays to go on as well. It also gave me space to work on Catch and do some changes here that we've been meaning to change. And all that would not have been possible if the work had kicked off before. So sometimes it's just the mindset that you take that makes the difference between getting what you want or something even better versus feeling like you're losing what you have in front of you. And nothing materially changed in what was happening around me. It was just a shift in how I was interacting with the world, how I was seeing the world, and it enabled me to have fun in the process and enjoy having a few days to step back and reflect, exercise, nourish myself, trusting that it was going to work out, rather than spending days in anxiety trying to figure out how we would work through that business challenge. And that's what we mean at Catch about becoming unstoppable. It's having so much faith and trust in yourself and the world around you that even big hiccups, big changes in circumstances cannot derail you. You can still have a good day, enjoy your time, see the positives in what's going on, and still get what you want, regardless of what's happened in the past or where you've come from. So here's a challenge for you. If you've got to the end of this video, spend this week intentionally every day waking up and choosing to live in trust. If there is something that you've been struggling with, perhaps you're looking for a new job, you need to earn more money, you don't know what's going to happen with friends and plans, and there's things you really want to achieve. Every day this week, get up, tell yourself it's going to work out, the opportunities are coming to me, and actively let go of the stress and the worry and the fear that you are attaching. And every time that comes up, tell yourself, nope, the universe provides, God provides, whatever your religion might be. I don't need to worry about this. I'm going to focus on my day, enjoying myself. If there's aligned actions that pop up that I want to take, I'll take those actions, but without stress, without worry, and I will trust that it will happen. And let me know how you get on in the comments below. Would love to hear your experiences with this, or perhaps you're a person of faith or you're very trusting and the universe has provided for you. Let us know. Thank you very much for watching and for liking, sharing, commenting and subscribing. That really helps the channel grow, and we've had a few new followers recently, so welcome. And if you need more help with this, again, all the links are in the description box below, and we'll see you in the next video. Thanks, bye.